I'm Matt Thramer with Landmark Implement Hastings.
I'm Matt Stride at Landmark in Red Cloud.
I'm Shayla Fuller, Landmark in Fairfield, and today we're going to talk about maintenance on your 700 series flex draper heads. So one wear item you want to check on your head is the guards and the knife sections. There are a couple options when it comes to your guards. You've got your green and your black. Your green is a high wear guard, and you can get up to 2 times more wear life out of it as opposed to your black. A little bit more expensive, but there is that option there. And then you have your knife sections. For beans, we recommend the coarse cut. And you have your long longs and your long shorts. Long longs are good for most of your conditions, and long shorts for your no-till conditions. When you replace your guards, it's good practice to replace your knives at the same time, or vice versa, since they do act like scissors. You get a better cut. As an add-on option, we have the Lankota shark fin, and this just goes right in the middle here, and this protects from overshooting and also allows your crop to go more into the middle of the feeder house. In the middle you have your knife guards, one on top, one on bottom, as opposed to the rest of your head, so you want to make sure to check those as well. Another common wear item on your head is the reel fingers. It's good practice to check these and the bearings when you are doing maintenance on your head.
Before you guys hook your combine up to your flex draper, we want to make sure all of these are clean. If you have any dirt on these, we recommend using electric contact cleaner, not brake clean on these, because if you use brake clean, it's going to eat the seal out of this electrical connector here, and it's about a $130 connector. Here on the drive lines, we'll have 3 grease zerks on each of these drive lines. There'll be one in the middle for the telescoping part on each of them, and then on each end for the U-joints there is a plug here and here. We want to take the plug out and put a 90-degree grease fitting in there and give it a couple shots about every 50 hours. As far as gearboxes go, we got our main gearbox here. We're going to check the oil level here. We're going to use 80-90 weight in all of our gearboxes besides the knife drive gearbox. Check the oil level here, drain it down here. Our first 90-degree center feed gear case is right here. You'll check the level. On your 600 and 700 series flex drapers, if you get a lot of buildup underneath your belt, you can release this down and clean it out. It's just 2 simple pins right here. Clean that out. You can use a soft-faced hammer and beat on the back to get all the dirt off of it. On your outer drive roll gear case, we're going to check the oil here and add oil over on this side. Belt adjustment. Here we have our belt adjustment gauge, so we want the arrow to be pointing right in the green. If it's to the left on the left-hand side of the machine, it's too tight. If it's to the right on the left-hand side of the machine, it is too loose. To adjust that, we use this big bolt here. Clockwise makes it tighter, counterclockwise makes it looser. This is your belt alignment bolt. So if your belt's running downhill or uphill a little bit, we need to adjust that with the machine running. Our knife drive 90-degree gear case here, there is a dipstick. Okay. That takes 80-90 weight as well. We have a grease zerk here on the telescoping drive shaft right here, and then there's one on this U-joint and one down on this U-joint. These are both plugs, so we need to take those out and give it a couple shots of grease about every 50 hours. Float cylinders on your draper heads. You should have one on every other lift arm, starting from the outside. One thing you want to check, if your combine's losing oil and you don't see any oil leaks on the combine, then you need to look at the head. Knife drive gear case, we use TY 6341 multi-purpose grease in these. There's a plug down here to add. On your cutter bar, these hold downs here, we want to adjust those to about 20,000, so about the thickness of a business card. You want to fit it in between this knife here and the bottom of this hold down. Over time, you get some wear on them hold downs and they get real thin on this black edge right here. You're going to start wearing the back side of these knives out. So instead of just replacing knives all the time, you can just replace the hold down and eliminate the problem. There's a few grease zerks here on the reel. There's one on each end, and then if you go to the center of the reel on 40 and 45 footers, there's a third grease zerk right here. Every 50 hours we want to be greasing that. Reel bat tube bushings, little plastic guys here. There's a little bit of play in them from brand new. We're going to look for excessive play, so we're going to move that thing around an 1/8 inch. That's when we're going to want to start looking at those, maybe replace those and check the reel bat tube as well. If it's thin, could possibly break. So just double check that when you're replacing those bushings. Center belt tension here. This bolt right here needs to be flush with this piece of metal. If it's in too far, it's too tight. If it's out, it's loose. The poly skid shoes on the bottom here, some of you guys will have some wear right on the edge here or back here. If you're getting abnormal wear where it's not wearing in the middle of these here, we need to adjust our cutter bar angle. 700 series draper belts, you can reverse these now without taking another belt off. So you can take this belt and flip it around. So once your cleating starts getting a little rounded off, or you're getting some real bad wear on this cleat, you can take this off and flip it around. As far as wear goes on the belts, if you got a couple tears on the sides here, about 1 inch long, I wouldn't worry too much about it. Maybe cut it just so it doesn't catch on anything. Anything more than 1 inch, we want to probably replace that belt. So 4 to 6 inches of a cut or tear, we want to replace that belt. Center feed drum, the fingers, those are steel tying fingers and guides. We want to make sure that we keep all those in there, and that if you do have any of them break off, that you know where they went. Sometimes it will wreak a little havoc. If you have any questions, call your local mechanic.